All right, well, welcome back to Talking Taker, episode number 2. Welcome back, all the creatures of the night. That's all our fans out there. Our 50, we're up to 50, man. We passed 50 Twitter followers over the weekend, dude. We're jumping up there.
Diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Alex Doriot, alongside my tag team partner, Travis White, over in... what state are you in right now? You in Tennessee or Virginia?
I'm in Tennessee.
You're in Tennessee right
Virginia
now.
Tomorrow,
Okay.
Yes.
In Virginia tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes.
Dual citizenship.
Mm-hmm. That's how that works.
So if you're wondering about the sound quality, we got the Skype call going on right now. He's over there, and I'm in Mableton, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta, over by Six Flags. If you ever wonder where that is, Cobb County, home of the Big Boss Man. We'll get to him here someday down the line. His classic encounter with the Undertaker. Can't wait for that episode.
WrestleMania 15?
Oh yeah.
Oh, can't wait. We might just skip right there tonight.
Yeah, we could.
No, we're not.
We could jump around, but nah, yeah. We're going to go in order. That's the idea here. We're going match by match through The Undertaker's career. Thanks for everybody who listened to the first episode over the weekend. I had a few downloads on there. You know, we're doing this just for fun because we love wrestling and just doing something with all this 25 plus years of wrestling knowledge that we have just wasting away in our brains, just trying to make something fun out of it. So we appreciate you listening. Like I said before, we don't have any deep insider knowledge or anything, but we're just talking about one wrestler's career and the way that it's charted over the wrestling business, over the WWE, over the past 27 years, and how wrestling has changed and what we've seen and the awesome things and the terrible things and all the things we love, all the things we hate, everything in between. So, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, it's funny because we started this and then there was all these rumors that he was going to be at SummerSlam as we record this last night, but he was not, so that's fine. Maybe they heard our podcast and said, oh, we need to not let him come back because these guys would have their podcast ruined. So.
You know, yeah, it looked like it was going to be super timely. I'm kind of glad it wasn't. You know, I was getting excited, like, oh, our podcast, perfect timing, but I really don't want The Undertaker to come back.
No.
He was looking rough at WrestleMania, and he was struggling. And I mean, it was a great ending. You know, didn't need it.
It was a perfect ending. Yeah, he didn't need that.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
Any quick SummerSlam thoughts before we jump into today's episode, as it was last night?
I thought it was a good show overall. I really enjoyed it. I mean, there were some matches that weren't as good as they could have been, and there were some questionable choices for why Big Cass is on the main card with Enzo with lotion in his pants, and then sneaks out the shark cage. But then, Usos and New Day, in my opinion, stole the show.
Absolutely, that was match of the night.
Pre-show.
Yeah.
So that was match of the night, and I think AJ and Owens was the second match of the night. So. SmackDown's producing like they always do, but yeah, it was a good show overall, and the main event was awesome. Hoss battle, man. We love all these smaller guys that can wrestle and are athletic, but sometimes there's nothing like seeing 4 Godzillas in there just beating the mess out of each other.
Yeah, for me that was
chairs and breaking tables, and yeah,
that was my number 2 match of the night. It was the main event. It exceeded expectations. It's kind of what I wanted
absolutely.
It to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tweeted. Kind of live tweeted on the Talking Taker account at Talking Taker on Twitter, and I said I just wanted the main event to be pretty much like Goldberg and Lesnar at WrestleMania, just quick, hard hitting, just all over the place. And it wasn't as quick as Goldberg and Lesnar at Mania, but it was the same kind of style, just wild and crazy, and a bunch of giants just beating the crap out of each other, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was like Godzilla and King Ghidorah and Mothra and Rodan all in there, just beating the mess out of each other. It was a lot of fun. And the crowd loved it.
They did. They loved him. Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman might be the biggest face of the company at this point.
Well,
so.
Yeah, absolutely. Between him and Brock Lesnar, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So, it was good.
Well,
but
Undertaker.
To another big man.
Yeah. He never got a chance to work with Braun Strowman. That would have been interesting, but he did work with Brock Lesnar. And we'll get to that one day. But today we're focusing on WrestleMania 7. So technically Undertaker, he did wrestle at Royal Rumble 1991. But we're going to skip over that. Nothing memorable in that encounter. So we'll just go to his next singles matchup. The second matchup and the beginning of the streak. Obviously, the most important part of The Undertaker's career was the WrestleMania streak, and it all began here. And of course, back in 1991, as The Undertaker faced off against Jimmy Snuka, I'm sure everyone in the back knew that for the next 20 years, The Undertaker was going to go undefeated at WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's no way they had foresight to that, but it's just, man, what a great story. And here it all begins, with Jimmy Snuka, a legend, That's just, it wasn't a nobody he beat here. It's a legend, Jimmy Snuka. But we'll get into that as we talk about the match here. But,
yeah.
It's really cool.
WrestleMania, clearly, I didn't watch back the whole thing. I've seen WrestleMania 7 before, but I just watched this one match. I kind of just fast-forwarded through a lot of the show. You go back and you watch those old WrestleManias, at WrestleMania 7, WrestleMania is not what it would become.
Right.
It's... You got a couple big marquee matches on there. You get the main event with Hogan and Slaughter, and then Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior. And then you got like 10 other matches just kind of thrown on the card. You're just getting everybody on the card. There's not a ton of storylines back then in these WrestleMania matches. And we're nowadays, like, every WrestleMania match gets a 5-minute video package to lead up to it with all the stories. But here it was just, we got a hot guy, and we got to put him over somebody, so let's throw out somebody big that he can go over here and get a nice match out of. So
yeah, I was thinking, because I didn't go back and watch Royal Rumble, that this one didn't begin there or anything, right? Did it? I mean, it just kind of was just thrown together almost. Nowadays that's where they kind of all. If you don't have a WrestleMania story going before, then that's where everything starts is at Royal Rumble. But back then, that's not how it was really. So. Yeah, you're right. It's kind of just, here's a guy, and we want to, he's hot, and we want to get him going, and let's put him with Jimmy Snuka. So here you go.
Yeah, I looked up some of the on the History of WWE website. I was looking at some house show stuff, like what was going on between January and or between November Survivor Series and up to WrestleMania, and a couple interesting things jumped out. Is number one, he didn't work a lot. Between Survivor Series and Royal Rumble, he wasn't hardly on house shows at all until January, and then he was pretty much just married to Tugboat. He wrestled Tugboat like every night up to WrestleMania. So that seems like that was almost what the first match of the streak would have been, was Undertaker and Tugboat. So imagine seeing that in video packages all these years. Undertaker against Tugboat.
That'd be ridiculous.
But they fought all the time.
Where it all began. He beat Tugboat.
Yeah. So I don't know where the Snuka thing came from, but yeah, that's who it ended up against. It ended up being a lot better thing on the resume.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. If you had to guess, how old do you think Jimmy Snuka was in this match?
44?
Ooh, you went on the young side, actually. He's 48 in this match.
Ooh, wow. 48 in this match? I knew he was in his 40s, but 48?
And you think about...
Good heavens.
He wrestled at WrestleMania 25 against Chris Jericho. He was 68 in that match.
Holy cow.
Or 66, man. I guess, yeah. But
yeah,
that's insane.
Goodness gracious. That's crazy.
And,
but it's weird. You think 48? I knew he was in his 40s and he didn't look great, but
no, he doesn't look great.
Now 48, yeah, Triple H is now. You think about Triple H is 48 now, and he looks, or maybe Jericho. Well, they're all around the same age.
Yeah.
They're like 48, 46. They look phenomenal compared to what he looked like back then. But anyway, he was still the man.
Oh, yeah. We don't have to go into, all the revelations about him in his later years and all that sort of stuff. But, wrestling career-wise, obviously a legend in the ring. And he gets squashed. He doesn't do a thing. And this match is 4 minutes, like you said. And it is 4 minutes of The Undertaker just destroying Jimmy Snuka.
Yeah, absolutely.
4
minutes, 20 seconds, I think, is what I was counted. So, yeah, I was surprised how quick it was over with. I mean, I've seen all of his matches, but I was just like, man, I forgot. Because you're used to now, the last, decade, or at least, since WrestleMania 17 or 18, they started making a big deal out of the streak. Match Undertaker has is 18 to 25 minutes, it seems like, at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah,
But back
it's
then,
not
it
that
was like
same
4 minutes and 20 seconds. It's
Yeah.
over. So,
There's no big
But
entrance or anything like that. The lights don't even go out. I don't know when that started.
No.
With his entrance,
Yeah.
just in general.
It'll
But
be interesting to see, as we do this, when that begins, when they begin to take it to the next level,
yeah.
So,
Well, one thing that went to the next level, big part of the Undertaker is this is his first pay-per-view match with Paul Bearer.
Certainly.
Critical.
I can't. Every time you say that, I'm going to have to do that. Sorry.
Oh, yes. Hey, of course, a vital, critical addition to the Undertaker's character and career. I mean, what do you think Paul Bearer over... The choice to go to Paul Bearer over Brother Love, what do you think that does to the Undertaker as a character?
Oh, I think that's the cherry on top, man. I think if he didn't have, like we talked about it last time, if he just kept with Brother Love, I'm not sure how that would have gone. Because here, as we, I guess we're going to break down the match in a few minutes here, but, as we go into it, Paul Bearer is part of the package. I mean, he's there. He's got the urn in his hand. I don't remember when that actually started with the urn, but the announcers are saying, who's in the urn? What's in the urn? Is it somebody, that's Paul Bearer's family? Is it Kane's, or not Kane? Is it Undertaker's family? And he's there. He's all part of the package, and it's really, I just don't think Undertaker would have gotten off to as hot a start had he stuck with Brother Love, or had it even been they dropped Brother Love and not stuck with Paul Bearer. I think Paul Bearer helps complete the package, It's like nowadays with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Brock Lesnar's cool, but if he didn't have Heyman, he can't talk.
That's a great analogy, because when Brock Lesnar first came back in 2012, yeah. It was cool to see Brock Lesnar back, but it didn't quite click all the way till Paul Heyman came back.
No, he gave that in-ring. Here's my contract I want with Vince McMahon, and remember that segment?
Yes,
it was like 18
bad.
minutes of trash. So yeah, the next week they had Heyman back. So there you go. Same thing here. I think Paul Bearer is, and he doesn't do as much talking. I mean, Undertaker did talk back then, but it's part of the package, man. You got to get both of them. So
his facial reactions are just
so
no one else. Just unbelievable, man. It definitely completes the package, and you talk about the announcers. You had Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan here, just talking about the mystery.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they were great. But we don't know what's in the urn. But there's all this other mystery about the Undertaker. I think that was a big deal about him that you just don't see anymore. Like on SummerSlam last night, Michael Cole. I noticed this during the Finn Balor match. He's like going into all this backstory about why Finn Balor chose his name and what the name represents. And it's like, well, I mean, yeah, we all know wrestling's fake and we know that's not his real name, but there's no suspension of disbelief there. And here the announcers are just talking, what's in there? Who is this guy? We still don't know all this stuff about this guy. I wrote one point, Bobby Heenan says, what are the gloves for? Why is he wearing gloves?
I have that written down too. I was going to say that. He goes, what are those gray rubber gloves for?
Gorilla Monsoon says, I don't know. Maybe he likes to wear gloves. It's just
exactly. It's like, but yeah, even there's a mystery about why does he have gray gloves on, So,
yeah.
What are those gray rubber gloves for? I guess he likes to wear gloves.
I was going to say it's neat, and I don't know if you caught this, but at the beginning of the match when Superfly's in the ring after he comes out, the announcers call him, it's the Phenom, Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
I thought that was really neat just because, that's who Undertaker is now. He's the Phenom, and he has been for, I don't know when they started calling him that, but he's been that for at least a decade. So, I just thought I was like, wow, foreshadowing, obviously not on purpose, but what are the odds of that? Is it Phenom, Superfly Jimmy Snuka? I was like, well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, I just made a few notes. I mean, him coming out with Paul Bearer is awesome. The urn is introduced to WrestleMania here, I don't remember when it was introduced.
Yeah, he didn't have it. I watched Paul Bearer's debut from Macon, Georgia, of all places. Apparently, that's where they taped that. Where Brother Love passes him off. And he does not have the urn there, so I don't know when exactly it came into play.
Yeah,
I couldn't figure that out, but yeah.
And then here too, when we mentioned this last podcast, but this is where they really start showing the kids during the entrance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you see the shots of the kids, and they look scared. They look worried and concerned, and just kind of, they're not crying like it's Freddy Krueger or anything, but they're definitely don't. They look a little uneasy, and that's really neat that he had that effect on people.
He really had presence. That was one word I
Yeah.
wrote down. And you see that from the debut. You see that in this. And he doesn't have an elaborate entrance, but the way that he walks and the way that he stands and the way that he stares at the referee and stares at his opponent, like the way he carries himself, and like I can't remember who I was thinking of that somebody I was watching last. Big Cass. I think we said something about him. Like that's a guy. I mean, I like that guy. I mean, there's a lot of upside with him. But he doesn't have that at this point in time. Like I just don't believe it with him yet. He doesn't have a lot of presence. He just kind of stands there a lot of the time, and he just is there. And you can learn that, I think. But the Undertaker had it immediately. Like you felt something when he was out there. It felt like it was a big deal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And a couple things I wrote down too is just during the match. He was a heel here. And the kids are scared of him, and he's not. Superfly's getting cheered, but I made a couple notes here. When he does diving clothesline, his signature spot, the crowd pops.
Oh, I caught that too. Yeah,
yeah. They start cheering. They're cheering because they're just amazed at the presence of this giant, this giant beast. And he comes off his feet, does this aerial attack, and the crowd they get on their feet and they're clapping and And also when he suplexed Superfly from the outside, from the apron into the ring. Do you remember that spot too?
Yeah. Yeah.
The crowd came alive during that too, and they were cheering and just he's getting a face pop of that. But I mean, just for the sheer strength he has and the agility, I think people just respected him even this young in his career.
Mm-hmm.
It was really neat to see that too, because I wasn't expecting that, honestly.
No, I didn't realize that happened that quick. That people started cheering for him already. So
yeah, because nowadays it's cool to cheer the bad guys, right? But back then it wasn't. Kayfabe was still alive too, and so, but they did. They were like, whoa, like just cheering for this cool clothesline and really powerful suplex from the apron. I mean, it looked like it hurt.
It did.
Yeah.
Undertaker nearly drops Snuka too for the finish. Like he's definitely supposed to catch him and go straight into the tombstone, but he can't quite make it happen, so he has to set him down and punch him a couple times and pick him back up again. And
even that.
Go ahead.
So I was gonna say, just he wasn't so green that he caught him. It was like didn't know what to do. He caught him. It wasn't working out. He sets him down, punches him in the face a few times. I think he scooped him up and then does another nasty looking tombstone. But I mean, he didn't. He didn't falter in that. When the spot didn't go like it was supposed to. He improvised, and that. Even at this young in his career and his character. I mean, his character. He didn't break. Character and look worried or troubled or anything. He still had that. Same intense look on his face, and then scooped him up and killed him again. Like his tombstones were nasty back in the day.
Yeah,
he's killing guys. I
remember as a kid thinking, once I realized wrestling was not on the level or whatever, Undertaker, he would do the tombstone, and I would think it's kind of a silly move because like their head never even hits the ground. Like he definitely learned to protect people a lot more than he is in these first few matches.
Wait till the next match. He missed his by a mile. The next match we're going to talk about, but yeah, that's for there. But this one was nasty. He
hits him hard.
He drops him on his head again.
And did he do in the Survivor Series match? Did he do the classic Undertaker pin where he folds their arms like that afterward? Like
the first Survivor Series match.
Yeah, does he do it in that?
I
can't remember if he did or not.
Well, I don't remember because he was facing away from the hard camera.
Yeah,
so I don't know. Yeah.
He definitely does it here on Snuka.
He does it here.
Folds their arms and just kind of sits up over them, which is again just goes back to the presence and the character. He's just in the zone right there and making himself different than anybody else. That's a huge part of it, having that unique style. So yeah, that was great. It's short but impactful debut, and you mentioned the next match. The next one we're going to review will be Survivor Series 1991. He's not on SummerSlam.
No, that was strange. Yeah.
He's involved at a post-show little angle storyline there, but he's going to go on and already in his third pay-per-view match going to be challenging for the WWF Championship against Hulk Hogan. And
crazy.
You can tell, I said I watched that debut, you can find it on YouTube, of Brother Love introducing Paul Bearer with The Undertaker, which, another sidetrack, there is no footage between 1990 and 1993 on the network of anything but pay-per-views. Like, Primetime Wrestling stops on the network at 89, and then Raw starts January 1993. There's no other weekly TV shows from that time period. There's a couple house shows, like in the old school section, but it's weird. There's no...
Yeah.
I mean, they've got tons of TV from that time, but they just haven't uploaded it on there yet.
Huh.
But anyway, what I was going to say was Paul Bearer mentions... Paul Bearer and Brother Love mention Ultimate Warrior in that promo, and this is before WrestleMania, but you can tell that they're saying we're going to be watching Ultimate Warrior get destroyed by Macho Man, and we're going to be there to see that. And that's who Undertaker ended up working with all summer, was Ultimate Warrior, and in body bag matches at house shows.
Oh, yeah.
And those ended up, you can find some of those on YouTube too, which are kind of fun to watch. But what I was trying to say is basically they did have plans for him in store, even at this. You know, they could tell they had something with him. So I don't know if they knew already that he was going to become a future world champion, but I think they realized they had something with him, even if they didn't know exactly what it was at this moment, which is interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great, and it's probably just because of the way he carried himself, man. And this character was just so cool, so different. Like you said, he's just different from everything else on the card. He really was. A lot of big guys on the card on every show, but he was different than all of them. Stood out.
Yep.
So, and he absolutely kills legends on his tombstone.
Any other notes on this beginning of the streak?
No, short, sweet, and to the point. I mean, it was a short match. He looked great in it. You know, like you said, it was almost a 4-minute squash. I mean, Snuka didn't get much at all. Couldn't get him off his feet. You know, slingshot it at the end. And,
I don't think Taker took one bump at all in this match.
That's a great way to make a paycheck. Yeah. Smart guy. So,
Bobby Heenan says he didn't even break a sweat as he's walking to the back.
I've never seen him sweat. So like, how much do you watching, Bobby? So it was cool. But good commentary again, man. There's nothing like those two guys.
No, there's not.
So good. So
you probably didn't watch this. Did you catch the national anthem not national America the Beautiful at the beginning of this show?
At the beginning? No, I did not.
Oh man, I just turned it on. I was just like watching the opening video package or whatever, see if there was anything in that. But it's Willie Nelson, and it is fantastic, man. Do yourself a favor, just go watch it.
Absolutely.
First of all, he is wearing Bret Hart sunglasses on top of his head and a Hulk Hogan bandana, WrestleMania t-shirt, and a foam title belt around his waist.
They wouldn't let him borrow a real belt? He had
no.
The foam one?
Yeah, he's wearing, the foam toy belt. He walks in the ring. He's all smiles. He picks up a microphone, immediately starts singing a cappella, America's Beautiful. It's beautiful. And he's just like waving to the crowd, pointing at people the whole time. He's just having the time of his life, man.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
that's awesome.
He looks amazing while he's doing it too. It's great.
That's great.
It's worth watching.
I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, next episode, we'll get it up here sometime shortly, sometime here in the next week or two, will be Survivor Series 1991. You can...
The Gravest Challenge.
Oh, the Gravest Challenge. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Hulk Hogan against The Undertaker for the WWF Championship. Ric Flair may be involved in some shape or form. It's an interesting match. And then right back to back with that will be this Tuesday in Texas. An interesting experiment in WWF pay-per-view history. But that's for another time.
It didn't work too well because they didn't go back to Tuesdays till 2005.
No, wasn't a huge... Not a successful experiment.
But it was only like 6 days after Survivor Series, I think. So, crazy.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we'll get to that next time. So, very cool. Thank you guys for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
Like our podcast. Follow us on Twitter at, what is it?
At Talking Taker. At Talking Taker. You can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. Apparently that's
I
important.
have.
That's what everyone says. I have too. Absolutely. You can, just let us know if you're listening. Let us know what you think. Send in your feedback of this match, of WrestleMania 7, and just any of your thoughts about The Undertaker and any of that good stuff. But until then, rest in peace.
Straight shoot, brother.
Straight shooting.